What's going on there, YouTube? This is Quinn, that snazzy iPhone guy, and this is the video review of the Blue Microphone Spark cardioid condenser microphone. Now, this is the extended review with examples and a bunch of other fun stuff, but if you want to see this review quickly, click the link or the annotation in the window right now to jump to the 90-second long review, which will give you pretty much the same information in a very short amount of time. But this is the Spark, and it is a very cool condenser microphone. It is only $200, which may seem like a lot to some of you, newer consumers, but this is the lowest end model in Blue's professional line. This is in the Essential series, and as you can see, it's a bottle mic, and it has a lot of really cool features that we're going to get into in a minute. But for $200, this is an XLR mic. Of course, you can convert it to USB to hook up to a computer via a mixer or amplifier or what have you. You can even use Blue's own Icicle or M-Audio Fast Track Pro. There's really millions of ways you can make this a USB microphone. But by stock, it is just an XLR microphone. And we're going to show you exactly what you can apply and why it's a cool microphone for the price. And then in the end, if it's worth the $200 price tag. So this competes with a lot of really solid products. Sorry for that camera bump. Namely the Audio-Technica AT2020, the Shure PG42, and a couple other mics in this $200-ish price range. Now the Spark immediately stands out from the rest because you can see it comes in the most unusual packaging I've ever seen. It comes in a cherry wood box. I mean, that is legit wood. It is pretty cool. You pull off the lid here, and you're going to be able to find the manual. Now, the way things work at Blue are very quirky. It's the Spark, and so this is a matchbook, and it's actually your manual, but it's not just a manual. It actually comes with a lot of really cool and helpful tips on how to record, a piano versus an acoustic guitar, versus vocals versus spoken voice versus electric. It's really cool, and there are a lot of different ways that the Spark can be used. It's a really versatile mic. When you get into the higher end stuff, you find a lot of mics that are just kind of single purpose. This is a very multi-purpose mic. It's not outstanding at anything, but it's not underwhelming at anything either. It holds its ground pretty well, and we'll get into that in a minute and provide specific examples and demonstrations of how it performs in each category. But let's open this. You're going to see that this is the Blue Spark itself, of course, and as I stated earlier, it is a bottle mic. Now, the condenser element is actually pretty small. This frame is about probably an inch and a quarter across, and then the element you can actually see inside is a little bit less than an inch. So it's a pretty small bottle mic. That being said, though, it is heavy. It's really sturdy. It's built out of metal. This is the powdered red. You can get it in any color you want, so long as it's red. And this is classic Blue. I mean, this is just a super quirky, off-the-walls kind of product. It's not bland. It's exciting. It looks cool. It's unique, and it's built incredibly well. So, I mean, the structure and the way this is built is absolutely fantastic. On the back here, you'll see there's a screw. The screw is so that you can remove that and use the pop filter that's included if you want. It's a custom pop filter. The pop filter to me felt a little bit gimmicky. I didn't notice that it actually was blocking many air explosions. I mean, it did its job if the person wasn't very poppy, but I'm pretty poppy when I speak, and so I do need a heavier duty pop filter, and this one simply did not do the job. But if you don't have a big issue with that, this should be a pretty decent little do-up. It just didn't work so great for me, and I don't know that it would for actually most people. So that's a downside of the mic. And then you're going to get your shock mount. Now, my first shock mount actually broke. Hillary over at Blue assured me that mine was a defect. I actually was twisting the handle here and I broke it. Now, I'm guessing that my mount wasn't actually defective, but I just had super power strength. No, I actually do think I had a defective unit. This one seems to be pretty good, but the mount itself is still really hard to tighten. When it's fixed on the stand, you do have to tighten this an extreme amount to actually get it tight, and then even then, it'll sometimes droop down during recording. So it's not the best shock mount. It's a little bit wiggly in this partition, so it's not completely silent, and it still serves its purpose, but it's not the best shock mount I've ever used. And but they include it free, essentially, in this $200 bundle price, so that's pretty good. Let's talk about the microphone itself and some of the features that come special with this microphone. So the first one is this little button here. This is called focus control. Now, I was already pretty impressed with the quality and versatility of this mic, and even though it's marketed for the amateur market, it can actually sound really good in the semi-professional market as well. I've been using this in my videos for the last 2.5 weeks, now probably closer to a month, so it's been a while. All the videos you've heard with my voice have been the Blue Spark in the last long while, and a lot of people very much love it, and I do as well. Now, in the frequency response graph, there's a 1 kilohertz region and a 9 to 12 kilohertz region that is a little bit upped when you press this little focus control button here. Now, what it does, and I'm trying to keep this more simple, but it's not really a low frequency roll off. I mean, you'll see a lot of microphones out there with this lower frequency roll off. This is not what focus control is. Focus control actually changes the voltage that goes to the mic, and it physically affects the dynamic range of the microphone. Now, the mic is pretty warm in the low end anyway, but when you engage this frequency roll off, it kind of drops off a little, but it also changes the rest of the spectrum as well. And you'll notice when you engage this, and I prefer not to have it engaged, but it works for different applications. For raw voice, I don't recommend it. It removes a little bit of the richness, the silkiness, the smoothness that the classic Blue microphones have. Blue microphones are famous for being almost over-exaggerated, and they're almost criticized for being a little bit artificial, dare I say. And the focus control is to kind of correct that. I actually really like that voice. I mean, it just really brings out the low end and makes it super, super beautiful. But you can also, disengage that. And the focus control works great for different applications. I mean, for acoustic guitar, for example, when you press this in, it creates a much more realistic, true to the track feel. Whereas if it's not engaged, you do get that more lower end intensive sound. So it works for different things. It does work. I mean, it's a pretty drastic button. Unlike a lot of microphones where you don't notice much of a difference, especially in the lower end frequency roll off, the focus control does work. Whether or not you decide to use it or like it or think that it's for the application you're using it is up to you. But I typically leave it engaged because all I do is talk. But if I were to do something with quite a lower end echo, bass is a great example. Sometimes engaging the focus control helps out a little bit. So there's that. Let's talk about dynamics a little bit. For a vocal mic, if you're using this for vocals, it sounds pretty good. It's obviously not going to be as good as a dynamic mic. It's just not going to happen because it's not is specifically tuned for that. But for a condenser, it's pretty good. For talk shows, for podcasts, for spoken voice, it's absolutely fantastic. And for singing, it actually picks it up pretty well. You will notice with some singers when they get into the higher end spectrum, the Blue Spark doesn't pick it up quite as well as it should. It's really good on the low end, but once you get in the higher frequency ranges, you'll notice it to kind of fall back, especially when you're comparing it to dynamic microphones. But again, dynamic microphones are very one specific use. You're not going to mic up a drum set with a dynamic mic that you can also sing with, and that's one of the beauties of the Spark is it is incredibly versatile. I mean, you can stick it in front of a singer, then go stick it in front of the drums, in front of a bass. It's really cool. Now, for electric bass and for distortion purposes, I noticed that if you're using a 50-watt amp or lower, you'll be fine. If you're starting to use more above that, you're going to notice a bit of distortion and a bit of muddiness in the microphone. Now, if you're recording right off the instrument, it sounds pretty fantastic, which you'll be able to tell at the end of this video. All in all, I mean, it's an excellent mic. It's absolutely superb. Considering its $199 price point, you won't believe what it actually, I mean, when I first put this into the computer, I tested it, I played a little bit of guitar, I played the drums, and I actually had to check, is this actually $199? Because it did sound like a $300 to $400 mic. Now, it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for the prosumer stuff because, it's not so fine-tuned that it's really good at one category, and that's what I was kind of mentioning before. It's really good at everything. It's not perfect or outstanding at any one specific category. So for the prosumer, for the consumer, it's absolutely fantastic. If you're doing studio work and stuff like that, you're definitely going to want to check out some of Blue's higher end stuff and then be able to kind of fine tune and specifically choose what you want it for. But for $200, it is an absolutely incredible condenser mic, and I recommend it to the utmost of my recommendation list thing. So this is Quinn, that snazzy iPhone guy. Thank you so much for watching, and stick around because this video isn't over. You'll see the Blue Spark in action in the following videos, doing a bunch of different things, listening to guitars, drums, vocals. You'll hear it all. Thanks so much for watching. That's it for me. And as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.
Here I am, falling away. Grab your mallet and swing away. Broken knuckles, sticks and bones, laugh away. But this is my show, the 6-string story for all. Music has power over all. Bombs away, we have a lift off. There it goes with the running head start. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream until your dreams come true.